So, two Nintendo games in a row, eh? And they're both some of the most disturbing titles the Big N has ever released, and they came out in the same decade in the span of 2 years. Methinks something weird was in the water around Japan at the time. Trust me, I'm British, I understand. Living on an island sometimes causes you to do weird things. Anyways, Metroid Fusion. If you went into this thinking it'd be your standard Metroid fare, you'd be proven wrong almost immediately, as the game starts with Samus being attacked by a mysterious alien species known as the X-Parasites, and almost dying. And from there you're thrown into a spaceship where the scientists were conducting genetic experiments to create biological weapons which the Galactic Federation has lost contact with. And if you've seen Alien or any other sci-fi horror movie, you know exactly where this one is going. Only it's 10 times worse than you think, as quite literally every living thing on the station has been killed and copied by the X-Parasites, which has led to the creation of some pretty horrific monsters that can only truly be described as abominations. Adding to the atmosphere just how vulnerable you are and feel throughout the whole experience. The game uses sounds and shadows to great effect, some areas being darker due to the lack of power when you first enter, some have shadows flying past in the background, and all the various ambient noises and enemy sounds you can hear throughout exploration aren't just helping the eerie atmosphere, but they're also a tremendous achievement considering how this is, well, a GBA title. There's also a fair amount of what TV tropes refers to as empty room psych. Some rooms, and even boss arenas, are completely empty when you enter, and they're not marked as save rooms on the map, so you're always expecting something. Sometimes nothing happens, but more often than not, something will happen after you trigger something in the room or attempt to leave, making it to the point where you never trust anything in this game ever again. And of course, I can't bring up this game without mentioning the infamous SAX. This is an incredibly dangerous X-Parasite clone of Samus, and good god is it terrifying. The image of its blank eyes has been burned into my brain, and you will learn to fear the sound of its heavy footsteps whenever you hear it coming after you. Making matters worse is just how this thing will not stop chasing you. While its encounters are more scripted than something like Mr. X, for example, you still get the feeling that it's constantly hunting you down wherever you go, and the fact that it has all sorts of Samus abilities only adds to the nightmare fuel. That first scene where it just bursts through the wall and stares directly into the camera with its blank expression is one of the most memorable scenes of the whole game, and it's incredibly effective. This is probably the closest we've gotten to an official Nintendo made horror game, and it's on a fucking handheld. We have all these developers trying to innovate horror titles, and we have Nintendo over here nailing the idea in 2002. That's, honestly ridiculous.